Kia ora, I'm Des. Welcome to the Good Day Matrix. Today we sit down with the amazing Shiray Kaka, who is not only my favourite hot stepper on the field, but many moons ago I also had the privilege of coaching her in netball for the Hamilton City Reps. Every single time she puts on that Black Ferns jersey, I feel immense pride. Shiray debuted for the Black Ferns in 2013. She became an Olympic gold medalist at Tokyo, and she's also a bronze medalist from the Birmingham Com Games. Shiray is an absolute animal lover and advocate. She's the star and creator of Raise the Roof, and she has every single move on the field and on the dance floor and seriously rivals Beyoncé. In this kōrero, we talk about the ebbs and flows of our journey, about owning our authentic identity, and about how important it is to have a village around you that really shows up in the moments that you need it. We really hope that you enjoy this kōrero. If you enjoy it, please share it on your social media. Please give us a like so that it really helps us to grow. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm just so excited, and I watch you with absolute awe through the TV every single time, and all your social media with your dancing. Like, why didn't she teach me that when she was a kid? Anyway.
I didn't have those down packed back then.
Bull,
you know?
bull. It's innate. So we'll start with identity and we'll move ourselves through. And we feel like identity, it's really important to know who you are and where you've come from, and whether that's a conscious choice to continue that path or a conscious choice not to continue that path or anything in between. So tell us about your whakapapa and where you've come from and what's got you to here.
That's a big question for me. I've got a huge family, so even I've got 10 brothers and sisters. So my dad, he's a good old man, and he had a couple girlfriends, and so we've got a huge, big family, half Samoan, half Māori. And it's actually, identity is something I've struggled with. It's been quite hard to, actually no, it hasn't been quite hard. I've just been lazy in the fact that I haven't actually gone out and learnt more about it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, it's Samoan Language Week this week.
It is.
And I have just signed up to learn Samoan, which is pretty cool. So my grandma will be proud of that. That's something that we've missed, because at a young age, my parents had us at a young age, so we were kind of pulled away from our culture quite early for whatever reasons, whether they needed to go earn money and get a job somewhere, or whatever reasons they had. We won't hold that against them. Love you, mum and dad.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I have been struggling with growing up.
Yeah.
Gillies has inspired me though, because his family and him, they are very, I was going to say Māori-fied, but I don't know if you can say that, but just very staunch Māoris, and it's inspiring to see. I've got some aunties as well, my mum's sisters that are the same, so seeing that around my family, it's something that I really want to work on.
Yeah.
Even now, sitting here, I can probably remember half of my whakapapa, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Or my pepeha, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's more things that I want to just be able to say off the cuff. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I was going to learn it before you came, but then I was like, that's actually a lie.
Like,
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was going to fake it and learn it before you came so that I could show everyone that I learnt my pepeha, but it's not true. So maybe you'll have to come back one day when it's natural, I can say it both in Samoan and Māori one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
That's epic. And I tell you what, it's underestimated the value. I think I was just telling you, we've just been in the UK and I got to stand where my pop stood. I never got to meet him, and that means I've also now stood where my great-grandparents stood. And just the fact that I could visit a place, and I had goosebumps just driving and not knowing that we were actually at the right place yet, but you just have this, the mana and it just oozes out of you. And I think the more we can learn about ourselves and confidently stand in it also. So learning your whakapapa, but making that it is authentic and that you want to know, and you want to know what they did, and not just sort of their names and can rattle off where they were, but what actually, what got them there and what happened. It's an incredibly powerful thing. It's a powerful thing for children. There's a lot of research to say,
Mm.
talk about your ancestors, talk about all of those different things, and it helps shape them as they come through. So
Definitely. And the one thing that helped me want to go and learn was just knowing that even if I don't know anything, it actually is still my culture. It's still my whakapapa. It's still, I'm still Māori, I'm still Samoan, even if I can't speak it or don't know too much about it. So I think that was the first step for me, is knowing no matter how was going to say unknowledgeable. What's that? What's
you're,
a
you're
word?
like, you're like early in your journey of
Yeah.
that the understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter like the lightness of my skin or anything, it's still mine. It's still in my blood, and I still have a right to feel Samoan and Māori. So that was a cool thing that I had to learn as well. So that's something that I'm gonna give to my kids one day, whenever that happens.
Oh,
I'll give it to my dogs for now.
Teach them. I've got Teach Your Dog Te Reo Māori book at home, so if you want, I'll send it down.
Yes, please. My girl, she knows Japanese because we bought her in Japan.
Yeah.
But I need to teach her some Samoan and Māori next.
That is priceless.
Yeah.
So what does Gillies whānau do in terms of their culture?
So they have moved back home to their hometown, Papawai, which is pretty cool. So they're quite involved in the marae and everything, and they hold wairangas and stuff. Okay. Do they hold them or they go to them? But they're just embracing everything about Māoritanga where they are, which is really nice. Okay. And I can see that Gillies' heart is yearning for that too. So it's pretty cool. I think we're going to be on the same journey of him learning Māori, me learning Samoan, and us being able to give that to our kids one day. Yeah. Yeah.
And to the communities that you guys are all part of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm inspired by one of my friends too, Ngāwai, who came on your guys' show. Just how beautiful she is with her culture and how staunch she is with it. It's pretty inspiring to see, and how her daughter Maior can speak Māori and everything. So, and her partner Wharenui is now doing Māori as well. So it's just cool. Like they're going to have so much culture behind them.
Yeah. And that's a boundaries thing I set to, is like at home around her, this is how we roll. Yeah. Love it or lump it. Yeah. This is what's happening, and if you're in the environment, that's what we're accepting here, and I love that. Yeah. And also the respect she's giving to past generations that didn't get the opportunity that she's given herself and that she's giving to Miles. Yeah. We tried to do that once. We were like, in the kitchen, we can only speak Māori. And then I got to the kitchen, I was like, I'm absolutely silent because I have no words. I don't know what to say. Let's cancel this. Let's not do it anymore. And then we're like, messing up my word count. He was like, we need one room. I was like, the toilet, because that's where I don't speak the most. It still counts, doesn't it? Sarah Cowley Ross is also on her Samoan learning journey of her language, and she's stuck things throughout her kitchen, like little, like what the cupboard's name is and the jug's name, so that her and her kids can do it together and start that journey as well. I have to message her then. Yeah. She's on that waka too. Cool. Shout out, says everyone's getting shout outs today. There we go. So we'll move into body now. You are a fierce athlete, and there's no way you could have gotten to where you are without some serious discipline. But I also adore the fact that you bring the vibe, like how many training videos we get to see of you having a little kani on the field is just priceless. Yeah. So people would assume it's easy for you to be fit, and because that's your job, but I absolutely know it's not. So talk to us about how you prioritize your body and how you take care of it to be an amazing athlete. It's actually fitting at the moment because we're on a 6-week break, and so you don't want to open my cupboards and fridges because it's Cheetos, it's chocolate, it's everything at the moment. So I think that's part of, it's overused, but the word balance. I go hard when I need to, and then I just absolutely rest when I need to as well. So I've taken this next 2 weeks to indulge in anything that I want to. I want a chocolate, sweet, I'm going to get it. Yeah. It's quite hard living 20 minutes away from 20-minute drive away from a shop, but Gillies will get in the car for me whenever I want anyway. That's the kind of man we need. That's the kind of partner. Probably that's the biggest one is understanding when to switch on and switch off. Because when some people come into the game, or when a lot of athletes come into the game, actually they're just super intense and they never have a break, and it's just go all the time. I tried that for a bit and I just was unhappy. Just was angry at Gillies for no reason, and just learning that was one of the things for me, was learning the balance and how to get it right on green light, red light type stuff. Another thing is, how long have I been playing for? 19 years. 10? Yeah. Well, I probably started before. I think I started in 2012, but I didn't get my first game until 2013. So I've kind of gone through a lot of injuries. A few too many, I might say, if you're up there, whoever that is. It's okay, we're at peace now. But yeah, so
going through all of those injuries, I understand now what I need for my body.
Yep.
And knowing that I'm actually different to every other athlete. So that was important too, because we've got amazing physios, amazing coaches, amazing S&Cs out there, but you're actually the only one who knows your body.
Yep.
And so making sure that, okay, yeah, they're telling you to do one thing, but you know it's not right for yourself.
Yep.
Being able to stand up and say, actually, no, I'm not doing it today, or actually I can push a bit more.
Yeah.
So just the relationship now that I have with my physio and S&Cs is really strong, because I'm really confident in what I need going forward, or who I need to ask going forward.
Do you reckon that's grown because you've developed as an athlete? Like, would you have been that confident to say that in those early?
Nah, definitely not. But hey, if you can do it early, please do it. It'll save a lot of time. Yeah. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of like tears and everything. Not that I've had any of those. Yeah,
but it's for anybody on their journey, like whether it's a mum with their kid or whether it's a guy who's training for running, knowing your body and being in tune and self-aware enough, because we kind of look at these role models or someone who's decided they're going to run a marathon, so we're like, I'll do a half, and then we bust ourselves in the first week because we train hard out and pop a calf muscle or something. We have to pay attention to, that's what they're doing, that's their journey, but what's mine in it, and what's actually valuable. I don't necessarily have to copy someone else's way to be them. What's my pathway for my body?
And that takes time too. And like, because as an athlete starting out, I was so impatient. Like, I just wanted to be the best right now, and I want the gold medals, I want to be the starting player right now. And so when I wasn't getting it, I was like doing stuff that I knew wasn't right for me, but like I just wanted to be trying. So I ended up doing way too much, burning myself out, and then just going downhill. And crashing down the bottom. So you're just being patient with like what your body needs. It's okay to take your time. Like, you're gonna get where you want to get. Just a bit of patience will get you.
We want to get there in one piece.
Yeah, exactly.
And the functioning one piece. So are there any like daily activities or routines you have for your body that you just cannot live without?
Annoyingly stretching. Yes, I know you've been told it many times. I've been told it many times, but that's one thing that I need, like before bed. Man, I'm only 28, but my lower back, I swear, is 60 years old. So I'm having to do those stretches and stuff before bed to get a good night's sleep, to then wake up and feel good. Another annoying one is ice, like cold baths in the morning. So annoying, but it works. But I don't do that every day. That's kind of more like a every second day thing right now. But when I'm actually in season, it'll be every training day. So I know, and like the winter, you can just walk outside and it's a cold bath, so it's almost not fair.
Just make like angels on the grass, but it'll do the same thing.
But meditation is something that I've been into for the past, since I had my crash and burn. That's probably the one thing that's saved me heaps. So those are probably the three.
Massive.
I
couldn't do the ice baths, I'm really sorry.
I know.
But as a 38-year-old person who ruined themselves with netball, stretch. Like, honestly, now my kids are like, look, I can touch my toes. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Good for you. Gillies, he goes down, we've got a creek just down the bottom of the hill. So he goes there every morning and like does full swimming under there. And I'm just like up to here. For 3 minutes and that's it. I'm done.
Now, when we caught up around mind, you said that one thing you've had to really learn to do is let things go. Still a trainee in this area. So what sort of strategies do you use, or what things have you put around yourself to help let things go?
It's still something that I'm working on now, so I can't really give tips or tricks at the moment. I'm still kind of working through it. But now with the following, I hate saying that, but the following, because I'm famous now, guys, excuse me, it's an honour for you to be in here. You're very welcome.
I had to sign some paperwork before they let me in.
Like you could have had Beyonce, but you chose me, that's okay. Just the more that I am putting out there that I'm interested in helping kids. At the moment I'm working with a team parent unit, or with people that help team parent units, just any Samoan, Māori any kids that need help or anything, any charity work like that, like I absolutely love. But there's just so many people that need help. So many people that need a signed jersey for money. So many people that, just need you to do a shout out for them. Like there's just heaps of people. So learning to say go or say no and let go of certain projects that I actually know I'd love, but are just too taxing on myself, feels really selfish, and it's hard to do. But I also know that I can't give 100% of myself. So I'm not going to do a good job. And there is lots of people out there that could do a better job for the time that they have. So yeah, if anyone has any tips for me, actually, that would be amazing. But I'm still working on how to put my energy into things when I actually care about all of them.
Yeah. And it's hard because we do care about so many things that you can just get, not sucked in, that's not the right word, but you can just get drawn to try to help everybody. But one thing I've been learning lately is like not necessarily jumping into help in terms of like an immediate, like, oh, if I donate this bit of money that will help these guys. But what's a long term, like what could I actually do that wouldn't just help for next week in terms of like poverty for food or whatever it is. What's the long term, like could I go to a couple of meetings? Could I go and meet a few other people around who are doing some work in it that you could almost connect them together, that if they did this and they did that, then that person who needs a quick donation now, we could actually help them to become not self-sufficient, but not self-reliant, not reliant on help each time, but can start to build their money within the process as well, rather than just sort of feeling like the person who has to have their hand out to get help. That kind of stuff is more now where I'm trying to go, okay, so rather than sort of offer immediate help, and that's helped me not be stretched everywhere.
Even that immediate help, that's a good thing, because once I said, okay, can you give me a couple of days to think on it, because I'd usually be like, oh my gosh, helping Māori and Pacific kids, yes, like straight away, because it would just excite me. So like taking those 2 or 3 days, exactly, I can do that, to now look at my options. And then also we've got so many amazing girls in our team that can help with those areas, so sending some of that stuff their way as well. It's been pretty cool.
And that's cool that you're a part of that kind of unit that does have all that capability and capacity within it to care and make difference. That's cool. What is some of the best advice you've had during your career around mindset?
Some of the best advice, I would probably say, the annoying one, but be yourself. Like, it took me a while to understand how to actually do that, but it's been the turning point for me. Showing up every day, it's been the turning point for me, building relationships and stuff, real true relationships, because I built relationships, but if they were real and true, I highly doubt that. And so that is probably the one thing that I take away. It still is to this day, and it's a pleasure to watch, because I since I've known you for so long, and had a hand in you back in our day, but you were a character then. And in the best way, like you had a really great personality and a real welcoming spirit. So some of the girls, they're a bit iffy, and for different people that have come from different schools, but you were welcoming to everybody, and you made a point of them feeling happy there. And I remember that about you. And I remember going home to my mum after the first trial going, there's this kid, she will be a silver fern one day. And mum, when I told her I was talking to you, she was like, oh, that's that girl that you said would be a silver fern. That's
I was like,
so
it
cool.
sure is.
Full circle.
But you have been yourself, and we can waver and go off that path and then find ourselves again. But watching like the little videos that crop up of you and stuff, none of that to me is not Shiray. Like I would get that same person. I'm getting that same person right now.
Yeah, that's so
to me soon.
Cool. No. Because like I did a session where I thought about who I was as a child, and it was so hard for me to figure that out, because I had changed completely like through the teen years and stuff, and so to hear you say that is so cool, because that's exactly how I pictured myself. But I was like, nah, I couldn't be that jerk. No, like, couldn't be that. That's like cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, even the fact I just showed her a photo, the fact that you can pretty much name everybody in the team. I couldn't name people from my years of like that's massive. So it was a genuine thing. So I take my hat off to that. a lot of people, it's hard to be yourself, and it's hard to feel comfortable in the spaces that you're in. So I think a good piece of advice is, if you don't feel comfortable being yourself in that space, maybe find some new spaces.
Yeah.
Or like find some new people, because man, being yourself is just the bomb.
Yeah.
And it doesn't suck your energy trying to be somebody that you're not.
Even just the question, asking yourself, like, hey, who was I today? Is that me? And then you can each day like see if you're actually being true to who you are, and it makes it easier than showing up as that person at trainings, or, you know, because I struggled because I was like, oh, if I be myself, will I get on the field? And so that was a hard thing to try and get to, because I am a loud person, you know, very outspoken, and can sometimes be confrontational sometimes. Don't ask Gillies, he'll say it all the time.
He'll say she's an angel.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, so then understanding, okay, you don't have to be your like full loud self all the time, but you can always come from a place of love while you're doing it, and then no matter what happens in that day, it's all good. Yeah. And so that's something that I've been trying to do.
And that's a great strategy that you just gave everyone to try.
Yes,
one to
try.
So much for not having any to give. So community-wise, I know you're a part of a lot of communities, and people have different definitions of what a community is. So talk to us about the communities that you're a part of.
Oh, we've got, like you say, we've got heaps. I think the rugby community is so big, and if you want it to be, it can be such a strong, like tight-knit community as well, which is pretty cool. Obviously got our team, the Black Ferns Sevens, and if I needed anything from those girls, I know they would help if they could. I don't usually use them too much because I see them every single day. So it's just a community where, like, at the moment I'm like, hey, see you guys in 6 weeks. Like, we out. No contact, whatever. But I absolutely love you guys from afar. And then we have Gillies at the moment. He's been home finally. Like, this is the first time in, I want to say 6 years that we've been together. Yeah. Been together, like living together for the full year where he's actually home. Which is pretty cool. And so he's created a community now at home with his jiu-jitsu just down the road, which is cool. And we found out that actually heaps of them live down this road too. So amazing neighbours. That again is another community of my neighbours. Like, one of them came to Hong Kong just to watch us play, which is pretty cool. She's already booked her tickets to the Olympics because she's pretty certain I'm going. So
we all
she's booked, even my own family hasn't booked them, so she's already booked her tickets. And they're just, whenever Gillies or I is away, like, they just are always there to help out. Like you say, those, you know, old school neighbours where if you need eggs, sugar, everything, you just go to them and they'll, exactly. If I need them to come and check on the dogs, they'll come. Or if they go for a holiday, we look after their farm while they're gone and stuff. So it's a community we're super stoked about too, because we not called the rookie farmers for no reason. Like, when we first came here, absolutely no idea. Like, no idea what to do. I didn't know we were on tank water.
Oh, bless.
And so we ran out of water. And I'm like calling everyone like, guys, do you have water? And they're like, our tanks are full. I'm like, what do you mean your tank? They're like, go and check your tank. I knock on it and it's empty. I'm like, well, now what do I do now? I just sit around. So I had to go down to the creek, get some water and some petrol tanks, boil it. Yeah. I won't say where I went toilet that day either. But community, obviously family and friends too. I've got a small amount of tight-knit friends that I can count on for anything. So family as well. They're like my dog's second parents.
I call my mum and dad like grandma and pop to my dog before we had kids. And they were like, that's not really, and then they'll go like, come here for grandma. I'm like, oh,
exactly.
You know you love them too. It's important, I think, for young people, if they're listening, to know that often we think that like lots and lots of friends is what we need in life, and you try, like, you know, I had, I don't know, 200 people at my 21st, and it's like this like badge of honor, like the busy badge of honor, but you know, but actually those people that will be there through thick and thin, I think that's like true wealth in life, is to know that the wheels can fall off and every other thing, but these people are ride or dies, and it's
That's the funny thing with friends, because I don't show up often. Like I'm like out here or I'm overseas or anything. But the minute something goes wrong, I'm like, I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there for you all the time. But I'm not like an everyday friend. And I think that's like, well, when I was living in Hamilton or when I was in the Mount or just younger, I was an everyday friend, and it was tiring. It was so tiring. Like, I absolutely love my friends. I absolutely love my family. But even learning how to balance that act as well with, actually, I probably still haven't got it right. But like, that's an important thing to try and figure out too. Yeah. Like, are you showing up? Who are you showing up for them or for yourself? Like, at the start, I was only showing up to say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm that friend that shows up every day. Yeah. But then I was doing nothing for them as well. It was just I don't know.
Expectation that you put on yourself, like, I should be there. Yeah. And they think I should be there, but did we have a conversation to? Yeah. Do they actually think I should be there, or did they invite me to be kind? Yeah. So you've shown up, and they're like, I don't really actually think you were going to come. Oh, well. Yeah. Spend my life around for this. Yeah. We'll move into environment. And so I want to talk to you around the environment that you create around yourself, because we're already talking about it with your friendship and with the Black Ferns, but how do you protect your environment and sort of create those boundaries that you need?
Yeah, that was a tough one to learn. So when I had my little downfall, when I was like, I don't want to be here anymore, it was like climbing out of that was really, really hard. And I just thought that everyone was out to attack me and that no one knew what I was going through. And so I forced myself to create this little barrier around myself. And at the time, like, now I'm thinking about it, I would never want that. But at the time, it's actually really what I needed. Yeah. I needed to just stay in my own space and figure out who I was first before I could let anyone else in my environment. And so now I'm still pretty like small bubble, but I can open it up when I need to in that time and close it back off when I've had enough, which is pretty, my mum would say it's because I'm stubborn and the BITCH word, but I would say it's because I know, I just absolutely know who I am and know what I do and don't need. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, you're from a big family with lots of siblings. I'm an only child.
Oh.
So it's like the total opposite.
However, you're only child. Yeah, wow. How many kids do you have?
3.
Oh, yeah, you're building yours.
So they never have to play snakes and ladders alone. Raven and Stan. Because you're too busy. No, it's a really interesting thing because I have high energy. Like, I get energy off bouncing ideas off other people, and I just adore people. However, I was reading a book by Glennon Doyle called Untamed that made it click to me that I also desperately need my own time. And I've never given myself that. Prior to that book, I kind of would fill my time like, oh, I'm going to have 2 hours there. I'll have a coffee with that person, or I'll do this. And even with the kids, there's no quiet time anymore. And even the toilet is not a safe place, and so, or the shower. And so actually having to have a conversation with my husband and be like, I actually need quiet time. So I go ride a next cycle an hour a day. And so the kids aren't allowed to come into the garage when I'm doing it. And it's just my time. I can read, I've just finished reading Ruby but just my time to do whatever I want undisturbed, because I actually was just getting not lower in terms of mental health, but lower energy daily. Just, I couldn't get up and keep delivering. And I just needed to recognize I'm actually probably an introverted extrovert. And I just need to respect that. To re-energize, I actually just need quiet time, which was hard to admit out loud.
Well, it can get hard too, like being in a sports team too. So we're overseas for 2.5 weeks, and you've got a roomie, unless you're the lucky one that gets a room by yourself. Yeah, I've only gotten it once, and it was a dream. But it's hard to even find your own time in that space. So I can't even imagine what it's like with kids. It must be friggin' hard. Yeah. But like the girls now know, oh, Ray likes her own time. Like, she doesn't have to come on all of these adventures with us. She wants to stay in her room, watch some Netflix and just like chill out. So it's quite cool that even, again, just being myself, people have learned. I haven't even had to say it. They're just like, oh yeah, Ray likes her own time, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And if they didn't pick it up, having the confidence to communicate that and trust that they're going to be okay with that and not be like, oh.
Yeah.
Shironcé needs her own time.
It's quite cool now. We've got like a little like group of us that like are just hermits, and it's cool. And sometimes like we'll connect and be like, day off together again, like in our own rooms. I'm like, yep, sweet. See you at lunchtime. We'll see you at dinner, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Gillies is actually like a hermit as well. He calls himself the lone wolf. He said that people call him that, but he gave himself the name. And so it gets quite dangerous sometimes because we can just stay here and we don't need anybody. Like just us, the dogs, the pigs, and because we've got we've got 20 acres here, so we can just go out and do our own stuff. And sometimes we're like, I really think we need to go into town, just maybe go do some food shopping just so we see people.
See some humans.
Yeah, so like even that gets a little bit hard too, knowing. Like, because you can get so comfortable in your space, knowing when, okay, enough is enough. We actually need to go in, see people.
Push yourself out of your comfort zone again. So you're in lots of different environments for work and for home and for the different communities you're a part of. So often people can be one person here and be one person here and accept some behaviours here, but they wouldn't accept them here. What are your non-negotiable values? So in any environment, what are the absolute non-negotiables for you?
For myself or for other people to have?
You.
For me, probably, I want to say fun is one. Like, always love having fun. If there's anyone that tries to shut me down, I'm gone. I don't. You know how you can feel kind of judged for being your loud self or mocking or jokes and stuff. If I feel any of that from anyone, like, it's a no-go. It's something that you won't tolerate at all. And then, that's probably just the only two. Yeah. It's
a really interesting one because for years, obviously, we were building tech and doing all this stuff, and I'd sit in rooms and I'd sit quietly when there were times I should have absolutely spoken up. Or even at high school, I still remember times where I wasn't the bully, but I certainly didn't speak up for the kid who was getting the name calling or whatever that was going on. Now, I won't tolerate that, but that took working with a leadership coach to learn that regardless of the environment I'm in, if that's the value that matters to me, not to do it. So my two are connection and usefulness. And so if I'm sitting in a room and I'm not being useful, like sitting in those tech meetings and I'm not even contributing because they're talking levels well above my pay grade, what am I doing here? Like, and am I connecting to anybody in this room? And am I connecting to myself when I'm in the room, or am I trying to be somebody I'm not to fit in? Yeah, so learning that has been a really powerful thing, and I'd love to say integrity is it, so that like I will speak up in any circumstance, but I'm not quite there yet. There's still times where I'm like, no, I won't rock the boat. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, it can get quite hard because even like in our team, if I'm not starting or if I'm not making the team, and I want to get along with the coaches and stuff, and something goes wrong that I don't agree with, I still don't know if I could actually speak up. Because I'm like, oh, what I want. Actually, no, I would speak up. That's like, I would speak up, but in the back of my mind, I'd be like, man, am I going to say this because like the coach could see me differently, or am I going to speak up? My mum could see me differently, or, you know, Gillies' mates could see me differently if I speak up. Or like if I'm at, I don't know, Gillies' family stuff and I say something, like, oh no, like what are they going to think of me afterwards? So yeah, it is still a hard one too.
I got told by someone, and I can't remember who you were, so please tell me if it's you, that if you can go home, she didn't tell me, I was at a course, it was Kitty Nathan, the Māori designer, Māori fashion designer, stunning work, and she said, if I can't go home at the end of the day and tell my kids everything I did that day proudly, then something's seriously wrong. Oh, that's beautiful. So, you know, whether it's that you stood up for someone, or whether it's that you had to, you know, fire someone, or like whatever, if you couldn't proudly tell your kids what you did, then that's her temperature gauge that it's off. And I was like, I like that.
That's cool.
That's the, you know, like, and that's it, right? Are we proud to tell people about our entire day, or are there bits that we leave out because it wasn't really spot on with, you know,
Noted, taking that one on.
Yeah, and which leads us beautifully into like how people worry about how they show up in environments, and how you've worried about how you show up in environments. So how important is it, like, and we'll use Black Ferns as the example, to show up as you in that environment every time and consistently be you? How critical has that been?
It's so important. It can be hard some days. to show up as yourself, because sometimes as well it goes the other way. So myself, I'm outgoing, I'm fun, I'm loud, and like love to laugh and everything. But then there's some days where I'm just tired and I can't be
human.
that. Yeah, I'm exactly human, and I can't be that way for the day.
Yeah.
And so showing up as myself, still coming in and being able to be tired and showing that as well.
Yeah.
That was something that took me a while to do, because when I first came back, it was the third time I came back in the team, I think it was, or second. I was this amazing person who had, well, I still am amazing, but meditated and was calm and loving, and everything came from a loving place. And so the first day when I couldn't show up as that, I was faking it, and that was more tiring. So now I'm in a cool place where, man, you'll know, like everyone will know what I'm feeling that day, and like that's all good.
Yeah.
And like that was important for me, because now I can just actually show up and as whoever I am that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds bipolar, right?
No, it doesn't. Again, it sounds human.
Yeah.
But it also, again, it sounds like a safe environment that you can do that, and that others can do the same, and you wouldn't look at them sideways if they didn't bring the energy that day. You go, sweet, feel that flow. Like, it's not like, oh, where'd you go?
Yeah, and the girls are really accommodating with it as well. Like, there's always someone checking in on you, or even if you could say, I actually need a mental health day, like to take off. That's a conversation that can be had too. So, very accommodating environment.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who's created that culture.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Seriously.
That Ruby is one of those. Ruby and Ellen Bunting, they're both with the Black Ferns now.
Yeah.
Give them back to us. Steelers. But they are two people that have helped heaps with it as well, and all the past players that are either in Black Ferns or everything else. Yeah.
Between like the Seven Sisters book and Ruby, like you can't not wish you were amazing enough to be in that team.
Yeah.
You know, like to be like, I'd love to be there just for a day and be like, how great are you guys? But you know, it feels authentic no matter what girl's talking on an interview, or I don't know, like seeing you guys, you actually care about the opposition as well, which is really kind.
Annoyingly
and, you know,
do, yeah.
It's rare. You know, in a workplace, people don't care about their team, let alone the opposition or the people they're trying to beat, you know, the competition they're trying to mow down. But you guys genuinely care, and I think that's a huge part of the culture that you guys have built. So
yeah, I reckon it's just because like women's rugby in itself has been so hard to get off the ground. So we actually all have to work together.
Yeah.
If the other team isn't doing well, or if they're struggling with pay, or if they are everything under the sun, then we're not gonna have anyone to play, or you know, we're not gonna, or they're not gonna have any girls in their country having anyone to look up to. So like we all have to band together from any sport, actually. Yeah,
it's pretty strong.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Last section that we always talk about with everyone is portion distortion, which is all about time. And it doesn't matter if you live on a farm with 20 acres with pigs and cows and dogs. If you live in the city, if you're a CEO, whatever your life makeup is, we all struggle with time. So talk to us about some challenges that you've faced around time, and maybe some strategies that you've put in place to help you with time.
Oh gosh, I am like one of my, I'd call it like a maroon flag. Is that darker than red? Is that darker than red though?
Yes.
No, what's pink? That's like the next one under red.
Fuchsia.
Yeah, fuchsia. What? I don't know. I'm not fancy enough for that. I'm going to say pink. One of my pink flags is that I am a procrastinator. Like I will leave it to the very last minute. So that's trying to find strategies to work on. I actually went to Auntie Google for this one. Yeah. And I was like, how to stop procrastination. And so I've got lists. I've got to-do lists. So I've got they're probably in the room actually, 3 different books. Yeah. One is a to-do list one. Yeah. One is a diary. And then one is just random thoughts like that I remember throughout the day. Nice. So it'd be like, message mum about blah, 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 blah. Or like, that'd be the different ones that I go to. And at the end of the day, I go to it and check every single book and make sure that I've done everything that I said I would that day. Nice. And if I've missed a checkbox, I just put it to the next day. Yep. And it goes to the top and I write number 1 next to it. So it's the first thing that I do that next day. Yep. Yeah. So that's how I've helped myself. I don't feel like I procrastinate anymore.
That's really good.
Which is, actually, it's been 3 days, okay? I'm talking like it's been 3 years, but 3 days is heaps for me. How long does it take build a habit, 14 days, eh?
Oh,
I've got 11 days left.
but,
okay.
bit longer, but yeah, we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you.
I'll
We'll check back
I'll
in.
go with that to check back, please. I'm like 3 plus 11, that's 14. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that's one of the strategies that I've helped. It's quite hard because Gillies and I are both procrastinators as well. And then we have a day, like we're just sitting down and we're like, right, today's the day. And we like just go and clean the house or spring clean the house or everything. But those days are always different for the two of us.
Yeah.
So his could be today and mine was yesterday. And so...
And all the motivation peaks.
Gosh, yeah. So, man, you can imagine the arguments that we have there. But...
Have you heard of a book called Atomic Habits by a guy called James
Yes,
Clear?
I have.
Have you read it?
No, I haven't.
So that's going to help.
Thank you.
That will help drastically
Noted.
with your planning.
Okay, cool.
How important have you found it to do things that bring you joy?
Oh gosh, it's the most important thing ever. Like, as soon as I wake up, it's something that needs to, just something needs to wait. That sounds like as soon as I wake up, not like in that way. Oh goodness me.
Read into that what you want.
Yeah, hey, this is a kid's show. But yeah, it's just something that's important. It has to be throughout my whole day.
Yep.
It can't just be something I do in the morning, something I do at night. Like I just have to. Yeah, joy is just one of the biggest
Critical
things. That I have to have in my day.
So many people, not that we talk to necessarily on here, but they're on this hamster wheel and they drop the kids off to school and they're at work for this long and then they get home and they might be out feeding the cows or whatever, and they're in this hamster wheel and they don't. It takes them like 3 or 4 months to go, did I laugh at all the last couple months? And it's so important to try and break that cycle and actually seek those things, book them in and take them just as seriously as any other meeting to make sure that it happens. And
I used to have a happiness log, and so it would just be like a little notebook. It was tiny that I could carry everywhere with me, and I would note down just everything that gave me a little bit of joy that day.
Yeah.
So for example, I woke up and it was a sunny day, so that would be my one thing. Or I woke up and the dogs came and gave me a cuddle. Like that was another thing. So it was just heaps of small stuff. Driving on the car and the radio, like one of a song that I like came up, wrote that down. No traffic, wrote that down.
Yeah.
So it was just heaps of small things that you actually take for granted on your day. And it made me notice them. And so it was pretty cool. So the next day I didn't even need my happiness log. I was just like, oh, that makes me happy. Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like just walking around.
Comes a natural thing. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then I would see like random stuff, like a little flower that looked like a love heart or, just small stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, I had another tip. Go me.
It's once I started doing gratitude journal, I don't know how many years ago. And it used to be like, I'm grateful for my kids, But then it starts to get to the nitty gritty of, I was grateful when I saw a plant growing out of a concrete wall and it was blowing in the breeze. Like you just start to pay attention to deeper and deeper levels the more you get conscious of what you're grateful for or what makes you happy or what brings you joy, and you start to see the new little tiny like nuancy bits that normally are so busy you just wouldn't even consider. So I think that's really cool. All right, some quick fire questions for you, mate.
Okay.
What is your number one travel hack?
Number one travel hack. Gosh, you gave me these questions and I didn't even. Oh, okay. Number one travel hack. She did not
procrastinate looking at the questions.
Okay, number one travel hack would be there's those little. My roommate had them just in the tournament gone. What's those? They're little packages that you put all of your stuff into when you pack your bags.
Oh, like little Kathmandu kind of.
Yeah, and you like section off all your clothes,
and
it fits into your bag way more.
Yeah. Smart. What are your 3 favorite books?
I don't really read.
That's when you look at your bookshelf and go, The Mexican Kitchen.
Well, like, see, I've got books on my bookshelf, but I haven't read them like for 3 years, so those are just for show at the moment. I absolutely loved Joe Dispenza at one stage, so I've read all of his books and they helped me heaps coming up. So he's got, what is it called? Becoming Supernatural, and there's another one somewhere. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Yeah, nice. So those are 2 of the books that helped me heaps.
Cool.
Again, haven't picked one up in a while, but if I was to go back,
those are the ones you'd go back to. Cool. With over 100 matches played for the New Zealand Sevens, how many tries have you scored?
Oh gosh, I don't know. How much is it?
52.
52?
52.
52, I'll take that. Do you know what? It's probably only been in the last year because I didn't even play much when I first made the team. So that's cool.
Awkward
Noted.
silence.
Noted.
What song would Shironcé nail at a karaoke bar?
Oh, Amy Winehouse, Valerie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a very easy sing-along.
That's true.
Yeah.
Though there are some notes there that, mate, not everybody could
Do
hit.
you know who you're talking to? I can hit that.
Next minute cuts to the singing challenge. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
Oh, I have to say a dog. Yeah, has to be a dog. Although a bird would be cool because you can just like fly away from everyone too. Yeah, I'm going to go dog bird.
No, dog.
Who knows? It might be out there. We haven't covered humans aren't that great. We haven't covered the whole world.
Build a mythical Lego creature and then they'll make it and have it at Mythical Land
Exactly.
and Lego Land.
I'm going to trademark that actually.
What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Probably, whoever you are now is good enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you were to create the ultimate athlete from features from your sevens team, what features would you pick from each player to create your ultimate player?
Oh gosh. Okay. Face me. Hair. Oh, both Kelsey and Tyler both have nice hair.
No.
Tyler, I'll go Tyler's hair. Reese's traps. Sorry, I'm going full. I'm building my character here. Reese's traps. Michaela's arms. Who else? Oh, Kelsey, she's got a beautiful ab area.
25-pack.
Yeah. Oh, just absolutely stunning. And she's got a nice booty as well, actually. Her, Talina and Jazz, I'd have their booties combined.
A lot of thought went into this question.
A lot of thought. Portia's legs.
Oh, yeah.
Gossie's tan. She just tans anywhere. It's so frustrating. Who's got? Oh, I don't like feet, so I'd be footless. I can't stand
footless
feet.
Sevens. Ultimate sevens player is footless, guys.
That's why I'm crossing my legs at the moment. I don't want anyone to see my feet if you're watching the video. Yeah.
Oh, priceless.
Yeah.
What qualities do you love about yourself?
Just like when you're around me, I'm a warm, bubbly person, so that's probably something that I love. Yeah. Yeah.
There are many more, but she's gonna sit here and be humble.
I don't know if you had time. You said quick fire. If we're here for an hour, I've got you.
Now we have one more new feature. You're our first to do it. You get to pick a card out of the
tarot
deck.
cards. Okay. What's something you do differently than most people? What's something you know? I was gonna say, nah, I can't say that. It was about wiping on the toilet.
You do whatever you want.
Okay, I know we had this conversation with some of my girls that I wipe differently to others. So that's what I do different. I'm not going to explain how I do it. You can guess. Maybe you can put it in the comments or something. But yes, I wipe differently to others.
Funnily enough, our team last year had this exact conversation and two of them were crucified for the way they do it. So yeah. I know, I feel you. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I hope that so many people get so much out of this because being yourself, I think, is our number one key theme here. And just, you're not going to get it right every day, but also showing up as you and whoever you are that day is key to living a really sustainable, good life. So thank you so much, Shiray, for having us.
Thanks for coming out all the way to the bush to come and record this.
It's true, we did hit
Hopefully the Wi-Fi made this all good, the mics and everything. Rural Wi-Fi.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, please share it with family and friends, and give us a follow. Ka kite.
I don't know where to look.
Bye. Yeah.